Right now on Hoosier News Source, Little 500 is rescheduled for May 26th, and Brown County is on the National Register of Historic Places.
And I have our game day forecast as well as a look at some rainy weather ahead. Hoosier News Source starts now.
Hello, and welcome to Hoosier News Source. I'm Sammy Nance. We start with the latest COVID-19 updates. Hoosier News Source reporter Andrew Lamparski joins us from Assembly Hall with new numbers. Andrew?
Thanks, Sammy. The COVID-19 rates here on campus are low once again. What stands out this week, though, on-campus quarantine housing is 0% full for the first time ever. Last week, that number stood at 1%. As for the positivity rates for this week, the numbers are up just barely from 0.12% to 0.17%. This comes as the university is testing nearly 27,000 people per week. Greek housing and residence halls stand at 0.2% positivity, while off-campus students remain at 0.1%. On to some vaccine news. Over 22,000 people in Monroe County have now received at least their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. But soon, you'll be able to come right here to get your vaccine. Assembly Hall will be the new main Monroe County vaccination center starting at the end of the month. This means that IU will be taking over the county's vaccination program, and the current Monroe County Convention Center site will be decommissioned by April. And that's all for this week's Campus COVID Update. For Hoosier News Source, I'm Andrew Lamparski. Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. It's one of the biggest days of the year for IU students. But in 2021, Little 500 Race Day won't happen until after the school year ends. The IU Student Foundation says that both the men's and women's races will take place on May 26th. Fans will not be allowed in the stands, but they will be able to watch from home via live stream. IUSF made these decisions alongside IU's medical response team and the Monroe County Health Department. IUSTV News will keep you updated as we learn more about this year's somewhat different Little 500. A press release from the Monroe County Health Department now allows bars to stay open until 2 a.m. Restrictions have been in place since March 2020. In November, the county mandated that bars must close by 1 a.m. Since Monroe County is currently in the category with the lowest COVID-19 spread, guidelines have changed.
It's really mainly going to help us on the weekends. That's where we would really see the effect of staying open that extra hour till 2 a.m.
Other guidelines set by the Health Department are still in place for Monroe County. The National Register of Historic Places added Brown County State Park to their list. The National Register is the official list of historic sites worthy of preservation in the United States. The register list is always growing as nominations are submitted. Out of 24 state parks in Indiana, Brown County is the largest in the state. The Department of Natural Resources has access to federal grants and funds for the park. To learn more about Brown County State Park and their future events, visit www.in.gov. Caroline Clare joins us in studio with the latest on this week's rainy weather. Caroline?
Thanks, Sammy. Rainy weather returns this weekend after our week of warm and sunny weather. As you can see, guys, this is a kind of complicated map, but if we break it down, it's not that bad. So this is our precipitation accumulations for the weekend. So this is Thursday through Sunday. And if you're thinking totals may look high, that would be our reason. So with a cold front coming on Thursday, not really going to impact us temperature-wise, but it will be bringing a good amount of precipitation over the next few days into next week. And as you can see, most of our precipitation is going to stay to our southwest here in Springfield and St. Louis, Oklahoma City, and those areas. But here in Bloomington, we will be seeing just about under 2 inches over the weekend. But rain will continue throughout our IU men's basketball game on Thursday night against Rutgers. With our game time at 6:30 p.m., we have a rainy day but some warm temperatures. But guys, what the main point is here is the rain. Rain all day throughout this Thursday. And also something to point out here is our winds. We're going to have some pretty windy and gusty winds throughout the day on Thursday, also throughout the weekend with this cold front, which encourages us to tune into the game on the Big Ten Network. Rain is expected to continue throughout next week here in Bloomington. If we take a look at our extended outlook, looks like Wednesday might be our last sunny and dry day for quite some time as we go into the rest of the week. 60s, 50s, even getting into the 40s possibly for our highs, but rain chances throughout the entire weekend. And as we go early into next week, slight temperature drop, but honestly, guys, it's not that cold until you get to our lows, maybe dropping into the 30s, but those rain chances will continue until the foreseeable future. Stay dry this week, and don't forget to cheer on the Hoosiers this Thursday. Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Caroline. Coming up, we're bringing international news back to Hoosier News Source. And we hear all about IU sports with Jackson Kinney. Welcome back to Hoosier News Source. This season, we welcome back a previous segment where we give you a look at international news. Elizabeth DeSantis joins us for what's going on around the world. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Sammy. This past Wednesday, at least 10 IMF missiles targeted the Iraqi airbase in Anbar, which houses U.S. troops. Ain al-Assad is the same base that was involved in a similar attack by Iran last January, but it is still unknown who is responsible for the strike. The attack comes the same week that Pope Francis made the first papal visit to Iraq in history. The Pope met with Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani in a move towards peace between the Muslim world and the Roman Catholic Church. And this week, mass protests continue in Myanmar. In February, a military coup sparked claims of election fraud in the election of Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi. The de facto civilian leader and representative of the National League of Democracy Party in Myanmar, Suu Kyi was detained and now faces a number of charges. Violence on Wednesday killed 38 people in the bloodiest day since the military takeover, amid calls for the release of Suu Kyi. YouTube removed 5 Myanmar military channels from its platform following the violent display on Wednesday. This week, COVAX started its first round of COVID vaccine distribution. COVAX is an international vaccine sharing organization working with the World Health Organization. They plan to deliver 2 billion vaccines by the end of 2021 to countries with less access to the vaccine. The program launched in Ghana at the end of February. COVAX distributed 11 million vaccines in Angola, Cambodia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Nigeria. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says COVAX will distribute 270 million doses to 142 countries by the end of May. That's all for now around the world. Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The Bloomington State Police announced they will be cracking down on dangerous and impaired driving. Officers will conduct high-visibility patrols showing zero tolerance for driving aggressively, over the speed limit, or under the influence. District Commander of the Bloomington State Police Office, Post Lieutenant Paul Butcher, attributes the stricter enforcement to the high-risk events in March, like the NCAA tournament and St. Patrick's Day. Jackson Kinney joins us with the latest on IU sports. Jackson?
Thanks, Sammy. Starting off on the hardwood, the women's basketball team beat Purdue on Saturday at Assembly Hall, claiming the program's 16th Big Ten win to set the program record for most conference victories. It would also be the 9th win in a row for the Hoosiers, the longest win streak of the season. And 4 Hoosiers on the squad would also earn Big Ten honors, all Big Ten honors. Grace Berger and Mackenzie Holmes were named to the All-Big Ten first team, with Allie Patberg being named to the second team, and Alexa Golbe earning an honorable mention. The women's team are ranked 9th in the country and are the 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament that begins this Thursday. Over on the gridiron, Big Ten Coach of the Year Tom Allen got paid. Well, paid a little more. The head coach in Indiana University have agreed to amend his current contract to pay out $4.9 million in average annual pay. It's a $1 million raise and the largest contract IU Athletics has ever given out. And for more in-depth coverage on all of IU Athletics, make sure you check out IUS TV's own Hoosier Sports Night each Friday. Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Jackson, and thank you for watching this week's episode of Hoosier News Source. To learn more about this week's stories, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IUSTV News. I'm Sammy Nance. From Bloomington, Indiana. We'll see you next time.